This is what this thing sounds like. Hey guys, it's Sid here with SVTperformance.com. Today we have a 2021 F-150 Raptor. This thing is code orange and it has the 37 package on it. So we've got the 37 1250s from the factory, and I have to say it does look great on this truck. And speaking of looking great, code orange paint looks fantastic, and I like the graphics delete. It looks really, really clean. I'm not a huge fan of the 37 graphics package, so this clean look is right up my alley. Also kind of odd, usually these things have the glass roof on it. I much prefer just a standard roof. I don't need 300 pounds of glass in the sunroof. It's just, I'm not a sunroof guy, so I really appreciate that not being loaded onto this truck, because it's pretty well loaded. Besides that, got the Ford Performance exclusive code orange paint, of course. And then check this out, the 37 1250s look very, very nice. Really like these headlights. The Gen 3 Raptor overall is a really good looking, just tough looking truck. The little fog lights are actually by Rigid Industries, so that's cool. These caps actually, it's tough to see, but do say Raptor right on it. It's really nice, really, really nice looking truck. So we've covered one of these on the channel a little bit more extensively. It was 5-Star Tuning's truck a couple months ago, so I'll put the link down in the description below. We actually took their truck and put it up on a lift, and had some dyno numbers and everything stock, plus with a boost box, basically just to up the factory boost levels about 4 psi, and that truck was making over 500 pound-feet of torque to the wheels. So they're very capable. It's just tuning is in its infancy because of the locked ECU on the 21 and up F-150s. I think Livernois Motorsports is the only ones that actually have real tuning for Raptor. Whipple might have something out soon, but for now, if you want to tune, you got to go to Livernois Motorsports, and those guys are always great to work with. Tell Dan and the crew that Sid from SVTP sent you if you want to tune up your Raptor. But check this out. Got it run up on a little bit of a sandbank here off-road. We're tucking that 37 on this side. Lowrider style, man, it looks good. A lot of flex in this, which is fantastic. I like how they integrated the marker lights into the fender flare here. Just, it sort of stands out a little bit. It's really cool. I like that. Tough bed, of course. If you're going to get a Ford truck, get the spray-in bed liner. It's really good from the factory. This one actually has the mild power boost option, so we do have AC outlets in the bed. You'll get like 2,000 watts of AC power. It's running and in sport mode now, so you got the sport exhaust. So I'm kind of one of those weird people. I like to be able to pick and choose my own off-road settings, because really there's nothing on the Raptor that sort of fits sandpit where we are here. At least not the conditions today, because usually this stuff is very, very soft, but right now it's sort of damp. It's early in the morning. It's been high humidity. It's damp, so this stuff packs really well when it gets damp. But when you get about a week of hot weather and this stuff gets good and powdery, it's what we call sugar sand, and man, it's deep and it's easy to get stuck in. But this thing could run through this in 2-wheel drive, no problem at all in these conditions. So actually what I do is put her in sport mode and put it in 4-wheel drive and lock the rear axle myself, because I like the way sport mode drives. See, we're sagged out on this side. That is very nice. You can see the coil spring rear suspension really well in here. And of course, your big Fox shocks. The new 4-link, or I guess it's 5-link, because if you look back there, you got a track bar. One of the things I wanted to ask you guys, I don't know this, so if you do know, it looks like it has a 37 1250 as a spare, which, you would want a matching size tire on this thing. It doesn't look like it's tucked in at all up into the frame, and I'm pretty sure The regular 35s on a Raptor, going all the way back to Gen 1, would actually tuck up in the frame. This thing actually hangs down below the hitch quite a bit. Yeah, you can see right there. So, you guys, let me know on a regular Raptor, does the factory spare tire tuck up more than this? That seems to be hanging kind of low there off the back, and if you're doing much rock crawling, it looks like that's what you'd end up bouncing off of is your spare, which is not great. But other than that, this thing is, it's awesome. 37s look great. Lights all over the exterior, in the bed, cameras everywhere. Interior is very nice. She has the Recaro seats, which are really, really comfortable. These are probably the best F-150 seats I've seen, and they do have speakers in the headrest, speakers up here in the headliner, gigantic 12-inch infotainment screen, fantastic HVAC controls. I do like the metal gear selectors, those are handy. Full digital dash, just a beautiful truck. I like the rubberized floor liners too. Instead of just a regular old floor mat, these are a lot better. Would be nice if they covered up in this area, but you know, I get it, liability reasons. They don't want a floor mat getting stuck underneath the accelerator pedal. Back, it's just like any other F-150, tons and tons of room, tons of storage space. Really, really nice truck. It does have the carbon fiber package on it. It looks good. It looks too good, in my opinion. You know, if they want to pull off, you know, this is real carbon fiber look, it should not be absolutely perfect. And it is everywhere. It's just perfect looking. So, looks really nice though. I do like the steering wheel. One of the best things they've done on any Raptors is the steering wheel. But just overall, really, really clean truck. I like not having a gigantic sunroof. I'm really glad that they spec'd this one out that way, because this is sort of how I'd ordered. I'm not 100% sure I would get the Code Orange paint. Maybe I would. I do like the way it looks. And it is, you know, a Ford Performance exclusive. And those always bring a little bit more money on the sales side when you get ready to upgrade. But, yeah, it looks good. This is probably just about how I would order it. I'm not sure I'd order the 37s from the factory though, because this is Biak Goodrich tires, and I used to love these things, but I had a couple bad experiences, and now I am firmly in the Nitto camp, so I would want to put my own 37s on. And at that point, I'm not sure it's worth paying the difference for Ford. But they do work well, they do look good. And if you don't want to start switching out wheels and tires and things like that straight out the gate, you can't go wrong, because they definitely fill up the wheel well and just look fantastic. I mean, look at that. It's just great looking. The other downside, this thing is enormous, but that goes all the way back to Gen 1 Raptor. And the off-roading we have here that's, you know, halfway decent and fun, which is this kind of sand. This is about as wide as this trail gets, and it's really only for a couple hundred yards in either direction. On either side of this, I have to go super slow if I want to keep any paint at all on the sides of this truck, because it's just all scrub brush. So I would basically just be 80 grit sanding it, running through this crap. It's really made for wide open desert Southwest spaces. For that, I mean, you absolutely can't beat it. For super tight trails, if that's what you're going to run, probably trimmer F-150 would be better for that, because it's quite a bit narrower and would be more suitable for that kind of slow running. But I mean, if you've got an area that's big enough, I mean, this thing has all of the off-road bona fides in the world. Locker in the rear, limited slip up front, so every kind of mode you can imagine, all the power you need, 9 3/4 inch rear end, fantastic suspension. It just works great. Speaking of working great, let's get it out on the road. I think we're just going to do dirt roads today and do a little bit of on-road reviewing. On-road, off-road reviewing. You know how it works. All right, guys, let's get this show on the road. We're here at Gen 3 Raptor. out in the sand pit, do a little bit of driving. Unfortunately, this trail gets really tight, so not going to get to see much action out here in the sand. Has dried up. It's a little bit later in the day shooting this section, but this sand is really, it's nothing for this thing. It just eats this stuff up. I'm in 4 high, just 4 high in sport mode, and I like to run it in sport mode just because I like the way the throttle modulates, and I like the shifting, because really for this stuff I don't need it to hold super low gears like the deep sand mode would do. As you can see, it gets tight through here, and I don't want to sand all the paint off this thing, just scrub up all this brush. We're going to get out here on the main roads. We're in sport exhaust mode as well, which I think sounds pretty good. So you guys saw that underbody video we did with 5-Star Tuning's truck. It showed off Ford's unique O-pipe. And here, I'll give you just a little example. This is exhaust in sport mode. We're in sport mode, sport suspension. I just really like the way that handles, so that's what we're in. This is what this thing sounds like. So pretty good. Definitely does not sound like a V8. It's never going to sound like a V8. It's a twin turbo V6, and that's what it sounds like. And really, that exhaust tone reminds me of a GTR, which is, you know, one of the more famous twin turbo V6s of recent history. But just out here on a little dirt road, this is one you guys have seen me run a lot of vehicles on. It loves this stuff, and really, if you live anywhere with like not great roads, I mean, this thing is graded pretty well, but it's still a little rippled. I'm doing 47 right now. Not a problem in the world. It loves this kind of stuff. The shock's working well. That new coil spring rear suspension is really smooth. Not only does it have really good articulation, but it works very, very well on this stuff. It just absorbs the bumps better than a leaf spring suspension would. Yeah, this just sounds great. And it's fun. Funny meeting a Nissan Altima out here. F-150 I'm not that surprised about. There's actually more, you know, 2-lane dirt roads like this running through the south than you think. As of, well, there's some houses out this way, and this is how people get to town. So if you lived out here, what kind of vehicle would you like to be driving? This thing is just ridiculous fun, and it's extremely confidence inspiring. The brakes work really well. Everything just works well on it. Here's a little bit of pavement. Man, this thing is fun. Power is really good, and that, I know a lot of people complain about the EcoBoost engines and them not liking those as much, would prefer a V8. I can tell you, this versus a Gen 1 Raptor with that 6.2 liter, this thing performs a whole lot better. I mean, you've got over 500 pound-feet of torque. And if you tune it up a little bit, you'll get 500 pound-feet to the wheels. Performance-wise, the EcoBoosts have just demolished the old 6.2. And really, until we get the Raptor R with supercharged Coyote, this is not bad. Yeah. And then since I'm in sport mode, we have downshifting. That works great as well. Man, she just eats this stuff up. And like I said, I'm running 4 high, no diff lock, anything like that. Sport mode. truck at all. Kind of a blind curve right there. But I think this is a little bit better than any kind of on-road test we could do, because really on-road, the Raptor is the best riding F-150. It has been since it came out. Has the smoothest suspension, and that's kind of to be expected. This thing has very expensive shocks on it, and they work. And with the new rear suspension on the Gen 3 Raptor, you've got a great interior. I mean, this thing is not rattling. If you hear anything rattling, it's probably my camera mounts actually on this, because everything else is rock solid. One-hand steering. Beautiful. So guys, I know I didn't get to spend as much time with this truck as I really would have liked. It's been busy throughout the week, but for this kind of stuff, man, it's tough to beat. And if you can deal with the extra width of the Raptor, I know a lot of trails it's not going to be completely friendly for, just because, you know, they grow in, it's tighter. But for this kind of stuff, and especially if you can get off-road and really stretch this thing's legs, you will love it. I mean, there's nothing else like it. There is nothing else that's like this truck. And it is every bit as performance-oriented and purpose-built as a GT350R or a carbon fiber track pack GT500. Those engineers at SVT/Ford Performance really put together a fantastic package, and it's way more than just a truck. It's something special. And if you guys have never got to experience a Raptor, they just keep getting better. The only thing this is missing is a V8, and I think we've got that to look forward to in the very near future. Till then, can't wait to get my hands on one of those. But man, this is good. Gets decent mileage too, about 17 miles a gallon, so not bad. Could live with this thing every day. But I think we're going to end it there. I hope you guys like this truck. I know I did, and can't wait to get the next one.